and a major city yet to be determined in Russia.
To my Mormon friends, my Latter-day Saint friends, think of him as Captain Moroni. He seeks not power but to pull it down. He seeks not the praise of the world or the fake news, but he seeks the well-being and the peace of the American people.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it.
If there are any among this people who should ever apostatize, prepare your backs for a good whipping.
Travis Wayne, good soul. So, church news time. It's the end of another week. And so we get to sort of touch on Zelensky because the church news gave him the middle finger. Even Cox, what a dumbass. And so the church, well, it's the National Governors Association meeting, where all the governors of every state come and vacation. And so this year it's here in Utah, as Cox is out as the chairman and Colorado governor is the new chairman. So next year it'll be in Colorado, I guess. And so Zelensky attended this national governors meeting and spoke at it. And so instead of doing a genealogy chart for Zelensky, Stevenson only had Mormons do genealogical research for just 12 of the 50 governors, and included Cox's. Oh my hell. I guess they did stop requesting a 4, 5, or 6 generation pedigree chart from each of the missionaries when they apply to go on a mission. And because, I mean, dear God. But yeah, he's holding in his hand what I've already told you I found in the Joseph Smith papers. Governor Cox is a direct descendant of a Cox who, during the early church, helped pay the Judas price to murder Joseph Smith. Danite. So yeah, now Governor Cox has the proof that he's a terrorist. And that's why the church wants him to be governor this year. If you don't vote for him, Mormons, you're the bad guys. And we all know what the church does to apostates. The electric chair. Since 1950, Nazis lost World War II, and so the church said, hey, we'll continue on where you left off. And they resumed here in Utah. What do you think the asylum was for? So we don't have Jews in Utah, so they got to use apostate Mormons. And they just put a stop to it in 2021. You remember that? This church is pure evil. They're not good. Oh, Jesus of Christianity? Really? The ones that replaced the Jews. That Christianity? You couldn't catch on when the Book of Mormon says, in the learning of the Jews, you call it Christian, and you think you're the good guy? You're not an anti-Semite, because you have Jewish friends somewhere. Distant branch-off lines. Bleep you all. I was born and raised in the Covenant Mormon. I studied. I learned the truth. I didn't have a faith crisis. The rest of you, you don't study. You find out something about Joseph Smith that's a lie. You know, like he practiced polygamy. No, he didn't. And you have a faith crisis. Oh no, what do I do? Let me see if I can find a Mormon apologist who will lie to me and give me fallacious arguments to have good feelings about it. And then you get upset at Travis. Travis, why can't he just leave us alone to destroy America? And that's what this is all about. In case you didn't know, Way to Perfection, page 290, 291, confirming what Thomas B. Marsh said in his affidavit about the Danites. They're going to take over the United States and carry on into the world. And so, Brigham Young, We're coming up on the anniversary of the establishment of the Kingdom of Deseret, which lasted for only a year. Bye-bye. He fled the country to establish the kingdom of Jesus, non-Trinitarian, and son of Heavenly Father, or Adam. Nonetheless, and if it was Adam, okay, great. You finally have seed descent. It's not quite David as it needed to be, but instead it's super sperm from Heavenly Father now, because we can't have Adam as Heavenly Father. That's those LDS groups. They're apostates. They need the electric chair. So yeah, church wants it back so they can put a whole mass group of people in the electric chair. Let's see what happens if we turn it all the way up to high. And so Gary E. Stevenson is the one who's specifically tampering with the 2024 election this year for this situation for the governors. 12. They don't tell us who. We know Cox, we know the Colorado guy. They won't tell us the names of the governors of the other 10. The 12 apostles. Which, maybe, because 1923, Heber J. Grant reincorporated the church, called it the new name of the church, the corporation of the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So it's no longer the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church is lying to you. It's not the name of the church anymore. It's a corporation of the president. We're a business. We're not a religion. They won't tell you the truth, because you can't handle the truth. And so Harold P. Lee comes out in 73, or am I going way too far? But whenever Harold B. Lee did his articles of incorporation, he then added to it. See, the original corporation of Heber J. Grant not only changed the name of the church, but it also changed the way they make money from the Mormons through tithing. It's a criminal extortion racket. It's a crime organization that Heber J. Grant established. And apparently you don't watch R-rated movies. That's why the church doesn't want you to watch R-rated movies, so you don't learn about a crime organization. Like The Godfather or Tony Soprano from The Sopranos. They don't want you to know. But yeah, it's a criminal organization structure, the whole thing. Even Brigham Young setting up his new administration was exactly after what criminal organizations patterned it after Brigham Young. Literally, not kidding. In the early 1920s and in the early 1900s, that's when the American crime organizations were organized. And it was organized based on Brigham Young's pattern of his priesthood authority, in which you have the boss, who's the president of the church. He has a counselor. In Brigham's case, he has multiple counselors. But the crime organization typically only has one. And then you have an underboss who replaces the boss when the boss dies. And the underboss for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints of Brigham Young became the president of the Quorum of the 12. The 12 then are lieutenants of the criminal organization. And then you have the soldiers, which are the rest of the Melchizedek priesthood. And then you have associates, those in government and in business that they compromise to look the other way or to do them a favor, though, etc. The whole criminal organization structure. The United States has RICO to go after such groups. And so Trump also has been included in a RICO filing for his businesses, if you've been paying attention. And so nobody's touched the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They go after the FLDS Church, but not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And 6 generations, yes, puts you back into the days of the Confederates and the Danites. And so Stevenson, by going back 6 generations for these governors, selected as 12, is specifically reminding them of their white supremacist Christian nationalist heritage. That we're all the same, we're on the same side. So when the national divorce occurs this election, remember, we're your friends too. Don't go to war against us. Not kidding. 3 Nephi chapter 7. They're all planning this. Gary Stevenson. They know I know this. They have spies watching my videos and narking to Nelson. You don't believe me? I sued the church. They've been stalking me ever since. They're pissed, even though they rigged the whole thing for me to lose. They still won't let it go. They're pissed. Just ask YouTube. And so, yeah, Harold B. Lee. Now that Mormons are chattel, and see, they've been stalking. I'm on the. Yep, I'm on the church's website, and so they're stalking me. Going, oh, Travis is doing it. He's doing a video. Get him, freeze him. Dear God. See, they will not leave me alone. They think I'm the enemy because I'm exposing them. Helaman chapter 6, verse 24. That's me. And so Harold B. Lee is now saying there's going to come a time where we're going to close up shop. We're going to abandon the Mormons, who are our cash cow. When that day comes, we want to arrange to launder the money to certain select. You gotta understand, back then it was not in the trillions. It's now in the multi-trillions. And so, yeah. This is what they're planning. Section 101, verse 51. That's Harold B. Lee. They're doing exactly what Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are warning Mormons that they're going to do, and they're doing it because they have fooled you into believing that the Book of Mormon is literal history. And as long as you believe it's literal history, you can't see what they're doing. They're working with the secret combination of the United States to overthrow the government. Because there is no Jesus. Doesn't exist. Created by Constantine. You can't just change him into non-Trinitarian. You can't change him into the Word. You can't change him into something else. It's all wrong. Verse 19 of the first vision. You get these Mormons who just refuse to study so that they won't have their faith bubble burst. They've had fear installed into them by the prophets that if they study, they'll fall away. And it's all part of the con. They got to keep you dumb. They got to keep you blinded. They got to keep you submissive and compliant. And so, if you dare to leave the church, they'll excommunicate you and punish you and hunt you down and try to murder you. If you do not come back on hands and knees begging to be taken back, like Avraham Gileadi. And so, this is what they're planning. This is it. This year. They failed in 2020. You're welcome. I parted the waters for you and you don't care. I want to die in bondage. I did so much effort on that picture, naming the underwear. Come on, women. You at least got a smile, right? Because if you didn't know, women are treated differently in the church in regards to our clothing that you have to buy from the church. And so the women who get temple dresses, they get to choose for names of the dresses. There's Leah and the Rachel, etc. And so men, no, there's no naming of white shirts. It's a white shirt. We don't name it. It's a woman thing. And so, thus, on my picture, as the women are clothed, heaven forbid it be called porn, but you'll notice that they're immodest for Mormon standards. Christian standards? No. Mormons have ultra-extremist standards and values, even over Christians. Christians ain't got nothing on the Mormon extremism. And so, yeah, immodesty means that they're wearing underwear, the temple garments. They will not call it underwear. They can't do it. It has to be garments, which are outer garments, but it's undergarments. But they can't say it because they're just so extremist paranoid about anything that's close to porn. Even sex is a 4-letter word. S-E-X. 4 letters. Count it. Marty. And so, yes, I named various underwear for women. Specific names for immodesty. Nobody appreciated it. Because when you know the enemy, you can mock them, and it pisses them off, especially when they keep failing to murder you. Bleep you! God. God. If anybody deserves revenge, it's me. And so, these specific governors are being specifically targeted so that the church can build relationships of trust, build on common beliefs, help resolve concerns, and then help and make commitments and covenants for the coming election and what is to come. We've already been told, war, blood, death. That's what's coming. If you're watching the liberal press and And so you don't believe me. Oh my hell. Really? You forgot Trump's 4 years already. God. You haven't even read Project 2025, have you? Well, it's too long. It's over 900 pages. Yeah, they do that on purpose, just like the Patriot Act. Remember the Patriot Act? Yeah, they purposely made it huge so that Congress would just pass it on through and not even bother to read it. And then when Bush implemented the Patriot Act, Congress went, wait a minute, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just implementing the Patriot Act that you agreed. And Congress went back and amended it. It's too late then, you dumbasses. And so yeah, Project 2025. I've been warning you about it, and here it is, in writing. I know what I'm talking about. I know these guys. These guys were my childhood peers, and now they're running the nation into the ground. They want death. They want you to fight them. And they know that you won't fight them. And so they escalate. And they get worse. And they get violent. And they get bloody. And they get cruel. And they get mean. And you just... Biden is just... Oh my hell. They're purposely doing this. This is an insurrection. By definition. And Biden is not doing his job to invoke the Insurrection Act, to remove all of them from office and bye-bye them, because they aren't going to stop. You lock them up, when they get out, they'll get revenge. That's all that's on their mind, controlling other people's agency. Taking agency away, murdering, destroying lives, destroying families. They don't love. They love what they want. They love their white supremacist families. And that's it. If they can get suckers and losers who they hate to be a part of their group and spread the lies, they love it. They laugh at you. You're our pawn, and we're going to stab you in the back. Me a love showed me no love. Utah should have caught on by then. Me a love finally did. Oops. And so Kwaku. Hello? I don't hate you. You are pretty funny. Plagiarism is proof of the truth of the Book of Mormon. Oh my God. But you're black. I don't know if you know this, but the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is still racist. They didn't change. It wasn't Jesus. Are you kidding me? You're going to fall for this? You know Brigham Young was a racist. Do you not know Section 121 when Joseph was in Liberty Jail? Cooed by Brigham Young. Yeah, Section 121, Section 122, and is it 120 or is it 123 that are the Liberty Jail documents? Those are the coup documents. Joseph Smith got cooed. Nobody believes, they don't read. Unbelievable. Verse 5, 122, if thou art called to pass through tribulation, if thou art in perils among false brethren, if thou art accused with all manner of false accusations, if thine enemies fall upon thee, false brethren. Again, right before this, we have the Joseph Smith history of 1838. It didn't get published until he made it to Nauvoo, which was set up by the Danites after moving away from Anamon. And so, who do you think he's talking about in verse 1? And I'll give you a hint. I'll read the actual name of the church, not what you read. It's in the Joseph Smith papers. Owing to the many reports which have been put in circulation. Think in your minds, who puts in circulation reports about the church? Who? We all do it if we're men. At least we're supposed to. Women are not supposed to, but they do it out of rebellion. Missionaries! Many reports which have been put in circulation by missionaries. Joseph Smith. If Joseph Smith, on the 6th of April, 1830, just started his church, kept it to the Whitmers and the Smiths, and left it at that, no missionary work whatsoever, it's just going to be a family thing, and so generation after generation adds to the church. Who's going to know about them? They would have to tell people. Too complicated? By evil disposed, designing persons in relation to the rise and progress of the Church of the Latter-day Saints, all of which have been designed by the authors thereof to militate against its character. And thus they rose up and militated a coup against Joseph Smith and put him in Liberty Jail. In case you still don't believe, there's 19 July 1840. Joseph Smith Papers. Brigham Young didn't publish it. You want to know why? Because Joseph Smith calls Brigham Young the one who's going to murder him. Judas. But Brigham Young was Joseph Smith's best friend. False brethren. Just study. That's it. That's all you have to do. And so this church, as we have been told by the warning voices that are now crying out from the dust against them, are going to overthrow America. They want war. And they've been telling us, just let it happen, and there won't be any bloodshed. There won't be a bloodbath. But if we lose, there will be a bloodbath. But what's Trump going to do on the first day? Invoke the Insurrection Act. Bloodbath. And so now do you see how concerning it is that Biden won't do it? America is in trouble. It's getting cooed by the same people that cooed America 6 generations ago. That Cox got a little plaque for. Your ancestor cooed Joseph Smith. You need to follow in his footsteps. Colorado governor. You're from the Confederates. I have no idea. It's Polis. Let's find out. Confederate States. It's not popping up. Civil War prison camps. Trying to read and they're popping up advertisements to buy things. Clickbait. Get away. Oh no, this Confederate is being starved. You gotta treat terrorists with dignity. I'm not seeing a listing of names, so let's try LDS Polis. Still, churches Polis. It's an actual word, so I'm having difficulty. Polis Recovery Project is a collective of counselors partnering together with a shared vision of community-based counseling ministry. Oh boy. And so I don't know what the hell Matthew McConaughey was doing there. He just shows up. Hey guys. What's up? Something happened to him. I don't know if he's been tripping on acid for a movie role or something way back in the day, but he just freaked. And then you see it in his commercials that he was doing. He's like, what the hell is he talking about? He's talking about the car, right? He's out there. And so now he's, oh my hell. See, Gwyneth Paltrow, I understand completely. Yeah, it was a messy breakup with Brad Pitt. I mean, she was on the top of her game. She was the it girl. Shakespeare in Love made her the best woman ever. And then Brad Pitt left her for Angelina Jolie. And it just crushed her. And she just fell into a pile of her own goo that she can now sell for... It smells like... Oh, poor Gwen. But Matthew, oh my hell, what the hell, man. You were at the top of your game, you were doing some awesome movies, and then something happened. Something snapped in his brain, and he lost it. Dear God. Anyway. And so, yeah, Zelensky is being removed from this. Governor Cox, in his talk, says the U.S. supports Zelensky. Not the state of Utah and the U.S. Nope. Just the U.S. Because we're about to be divided this year. And in case you don't believe in your Book of Mormon as a Mormon, that there's no way it could be true, Travis. It's already been true the whole way through. Dear God. That's what I started doing at the beginning of this year because it's the Book of Mormon year in Sunday school. Trying to help you understand prophecies are getting fulfilled, guys. This is all setting up for 8 April. And nobody cared. Nobody believed. No, it's not true. No, Book of Mormon's not true. It's going against the prophets, so it can't be true. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish king over the land, but in this same year, the 13th year, they did destroy the judgment seat, murdered the chief judge of the land. So we have 3 branches of government. And so, yeah, there's multiple options here, isn't there? But keep reading. They did not establish a king. They established a king in the first year in 1 Nephi chapter 1, put on the throne by a foreign government. Joseph Smith Sr. was brilliant. He exposed which government that is, simply by saying, Lehi Exodus from Jerusalem, 600 years of the first year of the reign of King Zedekiah. Which you need to know that it was 597, which means 4 CE. And then you go to 8 April over Russia. Brilliant. Brilliant. But no, literal history, Travis. Joseph Smith Sr. had nothing to do with the composition of the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith, gift and power of rocks. Nothing to do with it. That's a diversion. Notice it's 116 pages that went missing by Martin Harris. Stolen. Yeah, there's a William Morgan book from the Lodge of Canandaigua, who was the master mason of the Lodge of Canandaigua in 1826 on 9/11. Joseph Smith Sr. Count the number of written pages. 116. Guess who wrote it? Senior. And we do not include it in our canon. It's not in the Joseph Smith papers. Why not? Heber C. Kimball knew and added it to his collection. And the people were divided one against another, and they did separate one from another into states led by governors. And thus they did destroy the government of the land. And notice, because of the genealogy that Stevenson gave out, going back 6 generations, to the Danites, to the Confederates. Every state according to his family and his kindred and friends. Ta-da. Danites, Confederates. Stevenson. They know because I've been telling, and they have spies who tell them. Stevenson is purposely doing this to fulfill the Book of Mormon being true as prophecy and revelation, and knows that Mormons will never see it or believe me because it has to be literal history. And yet literal history scientists are telling you, no, this never happened. And Mormons refuse to believe. Their spiritual witness is more powerful than science. faith without works is true. God. So easy of a doctrine, even from the Bible. And what a stumbling block it has become because of Christianity. And so, the regulations of the government, the federal government, overseeing them all, destroyed because of the secret combinations of the friends and kindreds who murdered Joseph Smith and Hiram, Governor Cox's fourth great grandfather. Could be sixth. Could have spread out the genealogy seed. Could have been the seventh sons of the seven sons of the seven sons. See me, I'm the firstborn of the firstborn on my mom's side. And then I'm the firstborn of the thirdborn on my dad's side. So it just depends. Just depends. So yeah, I am screaming to an empty room. There's nobody here. It's just me. There was a guy this morning. Because I went out. Who, yeah, he was talking to himself. And I understand, most people, we have memories that come to mind, but we usually don't say it out loud. But when you're old, you just don't care anymore. And you just, whatever memory is coming to your mind, you start talking out and open. And people look at you as if you're a crazy old man, not understanding that you're going to do it one day too. Just like Biden, although he freezes, and so he doesn't really say what's going on in his head. Although maybe he did. Vice President Trump, President Putin. And so, yes, this is what I was warning about. We can tie it into Biden getting assassinated. They need Biden out. They're trying to push him out first so that he doesn't run for re-election. That's the first step. If they can't get him to quit, they're going to go to the next step. And they're already doing it on Fox. They're just blowing this up out of proportion. They've stopped all other border crossing terrorism to cover Biden as incompetent. He's just Looney Tunes. And so, yeah, of course they're talking about Vice President Trump and President Putin. And seriously, Biden cannot last 4 more years. I am surprised Putin did. He's got excellent doctors, apparently, because he was supposed to die last year. He didn't die. He won his election this year. He's still going. He's perfectly fine and healthy. He's no longer shaking. And so whatever it was with Putin, it's gone. He's back to his normal KGB self and probably, back into the training, boasting about how well he is in various martial arts and sports that he used to have special news coverage of. Opportunities to show him without his shirt on. But Biden, no, he ain't gonna last. And so that's another thing. Trump kept us cool. Like sharks, which Trump is deathly afraid of. Just talking about them. When they smell blood in the water, you're dead. Plain and simple. Trump had him. He could have ripped off his testicles right there on the public stage, keeping his cool the whole time. But he let Biden dig his own grave. He just looks over and goes, wow, I'm gonna be king. And so, yeah, but we're told Trump will not win. But the federal government will fall. And so what is the state of Utah going to do to those who are on government assistance? Yeah, no more. Bye-bye. It doesn't matter if you're elderly. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran. They don't want you on the dole, especially if the state of Utah now has to take care of it. They only have $1 billion in savings. Dear God. And so, no, they're going to murder somebody. And that's why I was deeply concerned with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I almost said Ruth Bader Biden. Because Bill Maher is bringing that issue up. Because he's doing exactly what Ruth Bader Ginsburg did in 2020. She needed to quit, and she was purposely hanging in there. And so, yeah, it got Amy Coney Barrett in. But it's just, people just think of themselves, and they don't think of the nation. They don't see consequences, and so this enemy group does. They've been plotting this for 200 years. And so, yeah, this is what's going to happen. If Trump does not become king, then there has to be murder, bloodshed, a bloodbath. And they've said that's what they're going to do. If Democrats do not just roll over and play dead and let it happen, bloodbath, civil war, Project 2025, there will be mass deportations, mass incarcerations, conversion therapy brought back. Every single group. The homeless are already illegal now. SCOTUS made that happen. Bump stocks are now going to be the favored weapon of the Civil War too. Get yours today. Because again, SCOTUS approved that. You need to pay attention what's getting set up here. Oh, they gave the libs Idaho. Did they? Are you sure? Can women get an emergency abortion in Idaho? Kind of requires an OBGYN. There are none. They fled the country. This country of Idaho. They're gone because of the Idaho law that got passed to come after the doctors. They had to flee to save their lives. And this is what's going to happen. In MAGA states, you're going to have to flee if you will not subject to their bondage. This is what they're going to do. You can't just say, well, I'm a privileged white guy just like you. They'll tell you to get to work for them, to make them rich. And then it won't be so pleasant. Hey, this isn't the way it was supposed to be. Well, we chased out all the other slaves. You're left. Devil never supports his own. You must be a leader. And So in Utah, you must be a leader. And so yes, the church is going to bail if they have to. If everybody just lets them get away with it, they'll continue on. They'll restore their Zion, whatever name they want to call it. And they'll resume all the abominations at a far worse degree than what Brigham Young had. This is the danger you're all in. Biden, by getting murdered, leaves a vacancy in the vice presidency because Kamala Harris takes over. So remember 2021? What happened in 2021? Trump tells Pence, decertify the election. Well, it's not really my job. I really have no authority to do so. Do it! So, as a backup, if Biden wins, despite all their cheating, despite all the threats, despite all the bloodshed, they need a backup. And so, removing Biden, even if by death, so that Harris then becomes president and the vice presidency is vacant for January 6, 2025. So who's the one who does the vice president's job? Fall to the Speaker of the House. Guess what he's gonna do if that comes up? Oh no, this is decertified. Sorry. Trump is the winner. It's coming. So yes, everybody's in danger with Project 2025. The elderly, no more government support. The poor, you're illegal now. If you're of the wrong religion, especially Jew, you get locked up. Deported if you're Islamic, because you're also colored, for the most part. Saw a young family today, a refugee family, going to work for the church. They got off at the church's stop. And it was a woman with 2 girls and 1 boy. And guess who wore the clothing of their bondage of the religion? And guess which one didn't? Yeah, the boy was wearing normal boy clothes. All 3 females were wearing the garments on the outside. That's weird. Mormons don't wear their garments on the outside. We cover it up and hide it, like Lucifer tells us to do. Still claiming asylum in America from the religious abuse that they had to flee from to get asylum in America. Our religion is oppressing and abusing us. Take us in. Okay. Send you to Utah. They most likely got sent to Colorado, and then Colorado sent them to Utah. Do you know about that? It's specifically for the southern border people. They're giving them a bus ticket to Utah. Hilarious. And so, yeah, they're not giving up their abusive religion as they claim it. It's abusive. They're cheating the asylum rules. They're lying about the asylum rules. They want to be abused. And they're continuing the abuse by remaining in that abusive religion. Sound familiar, Mormon women? You wear the underwear just like they do, because you're just like Muslims. Church did a whole pamphlet thing on it, as they were paying the Judas price to Islam, both government and religions, to go against the Jews on October 7th. And so, yeah, nation is doomed. Nation is over. That's it. Hasta la vista, baby. I knew it on the 4th of November, 2016, when Fox 13 News Utah announced the total solar eclipse over the United States of America. My education and here we are, utter destruction. Mormons failed. We're all doomed. What is the point of believing in prophets with a warning voice if the people will not believe in the warning voice of the prophets? You would rather believe in the lies of the false prophets who bear no fruit except the fruit of corruption, the fruit of abuse, who cover it up by claiming it's by Jesus. I can't help you. You need to rise up against this church, or they will walk all over you. You have no choice but to defend yourselves, because they will murder you. They will feed your flesh to your children. Is the Book of Mormon lying? Go ahead, find out.